Thank you, Milica. Appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. Dobro jutro. Over the past 6 years, I've had the honor to join my friends at the Atlantic Council of Montenegro and many of you here today to open the To Be Secure conference, and I'm delighted to be with you all once again. I found every edition of this amazing conference to be enlightening, educational, and invigorating. I'd like to thank you, Milica, Azra, and the whole team, the whole team of the Atlantic Council for organizing this outstanding, essential forum for the and for the government of Montenegro for your support of this event. One of the things I like most about the forum is that To Be Secure is a community. It's a community of problem solvers who haven't met a puzzle they didn't want to solve. It's a community of relentless workaholics who won't stop until that problem is resolved. It's a community of optimists who deflect naysayers and conspiracy theorists to prove that there is a better way forward. In short, for those of you who are new to the forum, let me say you're in the right place. But before I dive further into my speech, I'd like to share the context during which this forum is taking place and why the stakes in the security sphere have never been higher, and Milica made reference to this. Russia's continued brutal war of aggression against Ukraine has now been grinding away for 2.5 years. The Wall Street Journal reported last month that approximately 1 million people have been killed or wounded in that conflict so far. And that, of course, is significantly more than the population of Montenegro. It's 75% of the population of fellow NATO member Estonia. And on top of that, more than 10 million people have been displaced. That's equivalent to the entire population of Greece. Those numbers are as sad as they are staggering. The human toll in an insecure world can be catastrophic. Security, stability, and prosperity in the region and in Montenegro are thus paramount and why we're here today. Now, while this forum will address the most pressing issues facing the entire Western Balkan region, you can imagine that my focus as U.S. ambassador remains on Montenegro. Montenegro, the beautiful jewel of the Adriatic. Montenegro, what we're now calling the first next member of the European Union. And Montenegro, where tradition meets the future, the heart of a warrior, and the soul of a philosopher. I am so honored to have the opportunity to represent the United States in this beautiful country. And the United States is not alone in applauding Montenegro's significant progress on its journey towards EU accession. Montenegro took critical steps leading to a positive report this past June, recognizing the completion of internal benchmarks in 2 key negotiating chapters relating to the rule of law. This hard work is noteworthy, and yet the way forward is not necessarily smooth. In fact, a reshuffle of the government immediately after achieving this positive I-bar has been accompanied by a rise in unhelpful rhetoric, divisive, nationalistic, ethnic rhetoric. It has rattled citizens, it's strained relations with neighbors, and when the country needs to focus on the ambitious goal of closing all negotiating chapters by the end of 2026, these kind of distractions threaten progress. Because of this, we, that is the United States, are still concerned about the inclusion within the government of some who historically have not shared the goals of the majority of the Montenegrin people. My friends in Montenegro, now more than ever, this country needs to put aside divisive issues and the ghosts of the past in order to prepare for a better future. There's a lot of work to do to achieve the laser-focused EU work plan that you've set out for yourself. Much of that hard work to join the EU started when Montenegro joined NATO. The reforms made over the last decade and the institutions built to become part of the alliance enabled Montenegro to become part of the alliance as the 29th member in 2017. They also set the stage for eventual EU membership. After all, there's a lot more to NATO than guns and bullets. Certainly, Montenegro has taken seriously its defense modernization responsibilities as a member of the greatest security alliance in history. This past year, the country fully met its Wales Summit pledge to commit 2% of GDP to defense spending and to ensure over 20% of those funds were directed to new equipment and defense modernization. Thanks to Montenegro and the other allies who have and continue to work towards that goal, NATO is stronger than ever and able to enhance the security of all alliance members. But it's more than that. During the process leading up to eventual NATO membership, Montenegro established various institutions. The Agency for the Prevention of Corruption is one, as well as the Office of the Special State Prosecutor, set up to address the most serious crimes, such as war crimes, corruption, and organized crime. Montenegro has worked to strengthen these institutions in subsequent years, and I'm proud of the role my embassy has played in providing expertise and equipment and supporting training to enhance Montenegro's capability to curb corruption and organized crime. I think it's worth noting that preparations for Montenegro's NATO accession helped build the solid foundation for applying rule of law in support of the country's EU aspirations now. So in the process of strengthening rule of law, it didn't stop with just establishing the institution or even carrying out the reforms needed to achieve the EU interim benchmarks this past year. Rather, this must continue now and into the future with a renewed effort if this country is going to be a full EU member. And happily, real progress is being made. During his recent visit to Montenegro, the chief prosecutor of the UN interim residual mechanism for criminal tribunals, Serge Brammertz, said, and this I quote, he welcomed the new dynamic in Montenegro with respect to war crime justice. That's important. And he did note that there are high expectations for investigations and prosecutions in the future. I met with him during his visit, and I found his visit encouraging, an indication that Montenegro intends to address those tragic and lingering past cruelties within its own borders and among its own citizens. This is important for the region. Doing so is an essential part of social healing and another step towards strengthening the security of Montenegro. Ensuring widespread and inclusive economic growth and prosperity is another element of security and resilience, both here and in the region. It's another area where I've seen progress during my tenure in Montenegro. First and foremost, the desire of Montenegrin citizens to join the European Union is clear, and I've made reference to that. It's also a goal of the United States. The laws and procedures Montenegro is currently putting in place are reforms that businesses have been eagerly anticipating as they consider investing here. Improved transparency, clarity in competition and procurement law, and predictability in commercial and dispute resolution are important for all businesses, foreign and domestic, and will help improve the business climate, attract new investment, and grow the economy. In short, by focusing on completing the hard work of EU accession, which I return to, the government of Montenegro will be strengthening the economic security of the country, another key to being truly secure. If people are worried about their jobs or their future or where their next meal is coming from, they're susceptible to rumors, disinformation, and manipulation. But when citizens enjoy a sense of economic well-being and a confidence that the future holds opportunities for their children, they're more resilient and the country will flourish. Again, this applies to all countries in the Western Balkans. Together with our international partners, we contribute to strengthening the country's business environment in many ways. We train judges on commercial law and ethics. We share expertise on investment screening, cybersecurity, and procurement law. And I'm happy to say we support women entrepreneurs, women leaders, and women innovators. Much of the work is carried out under the umbrella of a bilateral U.S.-Montenegro economic dialogue, a powerful platform to address open issues, share expertise, and explore new opportunities. I'm proud to announce that we will hold a senior-level meeting of the dialogue in Washington, D.C. later this month with the goal of unlocking new opportunities for deepening our bilateral economic relation and to enhance Montenegro's economic security even further. So to recap, certainly professional and capable defense institutions play a critical role in securing Montenegro and other allies from overt threats to their sovereignty. Likewise, investments needed to ensure the future security of the nation will need to be supported by a durable and robust economy. Economic security, defense security, but frankly, this is not enough. Identity politics, fomented and manipulated by malign actors and their proxies, creates a climate of division that could handicap this country and any other country where all members of diverse groups are not respected or embraced. I want to be clear. The responsibility for putting aside the damaging impact of identity politics is solidly in the hands of elected leaders. We encourage political elites to make decisive progress on regional reconciliation, supporting the implementation of reforms, and the reconciliation process is critical to ensuring prosperity to people across the Balkans. As the region faces demographic challenges exacerbated by youth emigration, reconciliation is crucial so that youth are encouraged to stay in their homelands and embrace a shared future, including in a united Montenegro. Corrosive debates over past wrongs or intentional fraying of relationships with neighbors and allies diverts the parliament and the government from their focus on the reform agenda needed to achieve EU membership. The responsibilities of both elected officials and government public servants are to the betterment of all citizens, regardless of their ethnic or religious background. At the same time, I have a final word. I want to emphasize that the power of genuine reconciliation is in the hands of people, real people. Each and every citizen has the power of respect, tolerance, inclusion, forgiveness, and the ability to reject provocations. There are plenty of examples of this through history, and it can be done. Think back just 35 years, when the world was stunned and thrilled as the Berlin Wall suddenly and thoroughly breached, allowing hundreds of thousands of German citizens to surge to freedom. That wall was torn down, not by politicians, not by treaties, not by negotiations, not by violence. It was taken down by the hands and the hammers of people demanding their freedom, opportunity, and a better future for their children. Therefore, the power really is in the hands of people. And here in Montenegro and throughout the Western Balkans, spreading tolerance, forgiveness, and respect is one of the main keys to unlock a secure and peaceful future. During To Be Secure, we will talk about a lot of important strategies to achieve a better future in the Balkans. And I anticipate deep insights, meaningful debates, policy recommendations that will help us work together towards a better, more secure, more prosperous Western Balkan region. However, as I conclude my remarks, I'd like to challenge every one of us, every one of you, to unlock the power of tolerance, forgiveness, and respect. As I look back on the entirety of my career, I'm convinced that these are more powerful than guns, bullets, and even economic opportunity in ensuring that this region and this country have a more stable, prosperous future. And so with that, thank you for your time, thank you for your attention, and I look forward to joining all of you in listening to today's program. Thank you very much.